Hi there. Learn how to create an admin dashboard for projects that adapts to any device, providing an intuitive user experience for managing projects, teams, and analytics. Don't miss this opportunity to master the art of building responsive web interface and streamline your workflow with a admin dashboard. Let's have a quick demo right here. Here on the screen, we can see the admin dashboard, which displays side navigation bar with menu items, a top navigation bar with collapsible icon, and a search text box with notification and profile icons. And below, we can see the analytics of the total projects, active tasks, teams, and productivity data with completion. Furthermore, there is an active project list that presents a list of projects with their project names, hours, priorities, members, and progress of that project. Below, we have a task performance and team list with their name, email address, role, and last activity of that person. Additionally, we have a footer with made by and distributed by Sharat Chandar K. This website is fully responsive, allowing us to switching between tablet and mobile device. So here we can see the mobile device. Here we can click and open the side navigation bar. Same as for the tablet also. That's all for the demo. Before beginning this video, I would like to introduce myself as Sharat Chandar K. If you want to become a full stack developer, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get weekly updates on videos. Let's level up our tech game together. Here on my desktop, I have already created a project folder name called Responsive Admin Dashboard. Let me open this into a Visual Studio Code. So for that, I will drag this directory into a Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code will automatically loads all the file inside it. Inside the directory, I have already created the index.html, style.css, and script.js. In the index.html, I have added the HTML boilerplate with the help of exclamation mark. Along with that, I have changed the title to Responsive Admin Dashboard by Sharat Chandar K. And below, I have linked other two files, style.css and script.js. And below, I have added the link tag with font awesome CDN to use the font awesome icons here. Now I need to add the wrapper for the admin dashboard inside the body. So I need to create the div with class wrapper. I will use the embed abbreviation to add the wrapper with dot. If I hit enter, it will automatically create the div tag with class attribute with the value of wrapper. Inside the wrapper, I am going to add the sidebar as same as above. Inside the sidebar, I am going to add the logo with icon with class of font awesome, solid font awesome, iglo. I will mention the logo name as shop. Below, I am going to add the UL tag with the class value of sidebar name. Inside the sidebar nav, I am going to add the class with nav items. Inside the nav item, I'm going to add the icon with the help of I tag with font awesome solid FA igloo. Here I will change this dashboard as igloo and I will change the logo to code. I will add the text as dashboard. Next to this nav item, I will add one more nav items. Inside this, I will add the nav heading as layouts and pages. For these layouts and pages, I need to add the li with class of nav items. I need to add three li's. I will use asterisk 3. If I hit enter, it will create the realize. Inside that, I'm going to add the icons as same as above. I'll use this font awesome solid. First one as FA. List check. I will close the eye icon. I will add this as projects. I will copy the same and I will paste it for below also. I will change the text to instead of projects. I will set to profile. Third one as settings. Now I will change the icons for the profile. I will set to FA ID code. For the settings, FA gears. Same thing I need to copy here and paste it below. Instead of layouts and pages, I will change to documentation. Below, instead of project, I will set to docs. Instead of profile, I will change to change log. Instead of settings, I will change to download. The same as icon also. For the document docs, I will set to book. For the change log, I will set to stumble upon. For download, I will set to download. Now let us see our HTML file in action. For that, in Visual Studio Code, we have a extension called Go Live. Once we click this, it will automatically run our server into the default browser. Here we can see the side navigation bar with icons and text with layouts, profiles and documentation. Now we need to style this. For that, I need to jump to the style.css. Here I have already added the import URL of font family Jost. I will reset the default thing with the help of global selector. I have set the margin to 0, adding to 0, font family as Jost from an import URL, box sizing border box. Now I need to add the styles to the body. With the help of element selector body and font size 1 rem, font weight to 500, line height to 1.5. I will set all the colors to black color. I will set the background to white. Next thing I need to add the styles to this sidebar with the help of class selector. With dot, I will set the position to fixed because we need to set the sidebar as fixed in the side. I will set the top to 0, bottom to 0, width of 100 percentage, max width to 256 px, padding to 0. I will set the background color as same as above with dark black, then overflow white to scroll. If I save, if I go to the browser, now here we can see the side navigation bar. Before that, I need to set all the transition. For wrapper of class selector, I will set the transition all for 0.5 second. This will help us to do the animation. Here I will set the border right to 1px solid with same black color. If I save, now we can able to see the border right with scroll. So we need to hide this scroll here. We have a option with WebKit scroll bar here. We'll set the display to none. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the scroll option here for the side name. Now I will add the styles to this logo with the help of sidebar with child of logo. Will set padding to 1.5 rem, color of white, font size to 1.5 rem. If I save, now we can see the logo with icon. Next thing I need to add the styles to this nav item with class selector of sidebar nav with nav items. Will set the color to light gray color, adding inner spacing top and bottom to 0.5 rem, right and left to 1.5 rem. Display to flags. We need to set icons and text into the same line with the help of align items to be center. Font weight to 500. Line height to 1.8. White space to be no wrap. We'll set the transition all of 0.5 second. We'll set the cursor to pointer. If I save, now we can see the sidebar with nav items. Now we'll add the styles to these icons with same sidebar nav items of I. Here we have added all the icons into the I element. We'll set the opacity to 0.6, font size to 0.875 rem, margin right to 0.5 rem. I will set the same transition to off all 0.5 second. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the sidebar. So instead of margin left, I need to set to margin right. If I save, we can get the space between this. Here the changelog icon is missing. I will go to the index.html. Here the changelog is not an solid, this is a branch. If I save, now we can see the changelog icons here. The next thing, once we over to this name items, we need to add the colors, and once we click this active, we need to set the color change also. For that, here in this sidebar name and then name items, we'll set the over of color to be white. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I over, now we can see the color of white here. And as I said, if this is active, we need to add the same. So I will use this same with name items. Instead of over, I will set this active class. This will add it into the JavaScript once we do the click here. The next thing I need to add the styles to this heading. So with the layouts here we have this nav heading. I will copy this with side nav bar with nav headings. We'll set the color to gray color, font size to 0.75 rem. Letter spacing will set 0.08 rem. Font weight to 700. Cursor to auto. If I save, if I go to the browser here, we can see the cursor is auto, and then this change to smaller size, and once we over, we are not getting the color change for this heading. If I over to the nav items, we'll get the color change to here. That's all for the side nav. Now I need to add the dashboard content. For that, I need to jump to the index.html. Next to this sidebar, I need to add the div with dashboard content. Inside the div, I need to add the header with header. Inside the header, I need to add the new class value of new bar. Inside the new bar, I need to add the div with new menu. Here I need to add the icons with I tag with FA solid of FA bars. This will help us to collapse and open the menus. Next to this icon, I need to add the input box for the search element. Input of text. If I hit enter, it will create the input type with text, and I will remove this too. I will add the class. I will change the class value to form control. I will add one more attribute of placeholder. Add the search. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can't able to see that. We need to add the styles to this. I will jump to the style.css. I need to add the styles to this dashboard content. I will set the dashboard content min I to 100 VH, margin left to 16 rem. If I save, now we can see the icons bar as well as the search input. Now I need to add the styles to this nav bar with the help of dashboard content, and then nav bar will set the background to white, will set the display to flags, align items to be center, justify content to be space between, padding inner spacing, top and bottom to 0.5 rem, right and left to 1 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, we can see the top navigation bar here. And I need to add the styles to this icon with the help of this same, and I will add the I will set the cursor to pointer. I need to change the font size to 20 px. If I save, now we can see the icon is bigger comparing to previous. The next thing, I need to add the styles to this search box. I will use the same with dot form control of class selector. We'll set the height of 40 px, width of 300 px, border radius to 5 px, padding inner spacing 0.5 rem and 1 rem, font size to 1 rem, font weight to 400. We'll set the border 1 px, solid of gray color. We'll remove the outline with the help of outline none, margin left to 20 px. This will help to add the space in between icon and search box. If I save, if I go to the browser here, we can see the icons as well as the search box. Next to this, I need to add the notification and then profile also. For that, I will jump to the index.html. Here in the index.html, next to the new menu, I will add the user profile div. Inside that, I will add two icons with FA regular FA bill, second icon as FA solid, FA user tie. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the bill icon as well as the user profile. Now we'll set the styles to this. With the help of dashboard content, I will use the class name this with FA bill. Same thing for FA user tie also. I need to set the background color with rounded shape. I will use width 45 px, height of 45 px, line height to 45 px, text align to be center. We'll set the background to light blue color, border radius to 50 percentage, margin left to 10 px. If I save, now we can see the styles to these icons. Next thing, we need to add the banners and analytics of the project details. For that, I need to jump to this index.html. First, we'll add the elements, then we'll style this. So next to the header, I will add one div with bg primary. Next to this bg, I'm going to add the container. Inside the container, I will add row. Inside the row, I need to add the project name as h3 element with projects, same as I will add the project button. Inside that, I will add button with create new project. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the project as well as create new button. Next to this row, I need to add one more row with subclass of dashboard codes. So inside the div, I need to add four codes with div. I'll use the asterisk with 4. If I hit enter, it will create a div with 4 code. Inside that, I will add code body. This div contains code content. Inside this div, I will add h4 element of projects. Below to this, I will add the icons with FA solid FA diagram project. I will close the div and outside this code content I will add h1 will set the 52 project and below to this I will add p tag completed as 41. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the project and total projects and completed. The same as I need to create three more codes. I will copy this code body and I will paste all other codes here below. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see. Now I need to change the text of second one as active task and icon as FA solid, FA bars progress, and I will change the active task to 55 and completed as 22. Next to this, I need to add this third code as teams. I will change the icon to short line and I will set the total team working as 10 and then completed as 5. Last code as productivity. We have total 98% and then completed as 50%. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the different code with different text. Now we need to style this. Again, I will jump to the style.css. First, I will add the styles to this bg primary of dashboard content.bg primary. I will set the background to blue color, padding bottom to 9.5 rem, padding top to 4 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the primary BGM of the top. Next thing, I need to add the styles to this container. Dashboard content dot container, padding inner spacing of top and bottom to be 0, right and left to 2 rem. Will set the margin top to minus 10 rem. So this will set this container on top of this beige color with margin top of minus 10. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. If I remove these things to 0, it will add it below to this. I need to add this on top of the color, right? So I have set these things to minus 10 rem. The next thing I need to set the styles to the row with dot container dot row. For this row, I need to set the display to flags. I need to set all the content into the center with the help of align item center. Justify content to be space between. Will set the gap of 25 px. If I save, now we can see all the chords it's set to center. Now we'll add the styles to this project name of dot dashboard content of dot project name. We'll set the color of white. We'll set the font size to 1.5 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the change. The next thing I need to add the styles to this button with same dot dashboard content of project button. Inside the div, we have the button element. I will set the styles to this button element. Height of 40 px, width of 200 px, border radius to 10 px. We'll remove the border with the help of border none, same as outline to none. Adding inner spacing, top and bottom to be 0, right and left to 0.5 rem. We'll set the font size to 16 px. We'll set the background to white, cursor to pointer. If I save, now we can see the styles on this button. The next thing I need to add the styles to this code. Same as dot dashboard content dot code. We'll set margin top to 2 rem. We'll set the border radius to 15 px. We'll add the background color to white, width of 100%, cursor to pointer, transition to 0.2 second. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. Now I need to add the box shadow to this with 0, 2 px, 4 px of that direction on RGBA color with red to 0, green to 0, blue to 20 and all for should be 0.08. Again, I will set the direction of the second phase of 0, 1 px, 2 px with same RGBA color of same red to 0, green to 0, blue to 20 and all for should be 0.08. If I save, now we can see the box shadow to that code. Next thing I need to add the styles to the inner body with the help of code body of dot dashboard content dot code body. Will set the padding inner spacing of 1.25 rem for all the sides. If I save, we'll get the space here and it set the content into the center. Now we need to set the projects and icons in a single liner. For that, we have already created this as a code content, dashboard content dot code content. Will set the display to flags. This will help to set in a single liner, align items to be center, justify content to be space between, and margin bottom to 0.5 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the project and then icon text in a same line. Project and productivity is in same icon. I need to change this. So I will jump to the index.html. For this productivity, I will add the icon as short line. For the teams, I need to change to people group. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the projects and icons in a single line. The next thing I need to add the styles to that icon. I will copy this code content, will set the I will add the background color to light blue color, color of black, height of 40 px, width of 40 px, line height 40 px, will set text align to be center, border radius to 5 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the icons with background color. Now we'll set the font size to this project names with the help of code and then code body. We have added this project name into the H1. I will use the element selector. We'll set the font size to 55 px, font weight to 500. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the difference of this 55 and this is as increased. The same thing I need to add the styles to this p tag also. I will copy this and I will paste it below. We'll set the styles to this with the color of light gray color, font size to smaller comparing to the above. We'll set the 14 px. I will set the font styles to italic. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the styles to this p tag. Now we can see the projects, active task and everything. Once we over, we need to add some animation to this, right? So for that, I will add the animations of that over with dot dashboard content of code will set the over effect set index to 1 transform translate y to minus 0.5 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I over this, we'll get that animation of this cards. Now that's all for the project overview. The next thing I need to add the active project list. So for that I need to jump to the index.html. Next to this row, I will add one more div with row again with subclass of table responsive. Inside this, I need to add same code. This will get the same style here. Inside the code, I will add the code header. This will say as active projects. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the active projects on this codes. Now here all the codes is overing on the effect, right? So instead of this codes, I will set this to dashboard codes of that code. So if I go to the browser, if I over on this active project, it will not translate. If I active on this, it will get the translate effect. Next to this quotator, I am going to add the table. Inside the table, I will add the tiered. The tiered contains tier. Inside the tier, I need to add the 5 th. For the first th as project name, second th as hours, third one as priority, fourth one as members, fifth one as progress. If I save, now we can see the table with that header. Next to the th, I need to add the t body here. This is the table body. Inside the table body, I will add the TR. Inside the TR, same as above, I need to add the TD of 5. For this TD, I need to add some different data. First TD contains div with table project name. Inside this, I will add the icon with help of I with class FA solid FA user astronaut. Next to this, I will add the h4 element of the project name called to-do list app. Next TD contains hours the value of 8. Next TD as priority. That priority as we need to set some badging to this with the help of pan with badge of class. I will set to track here, and next one as members. This will set some avatar group to add the members picture here. I will set that div with avatar group. Inside this, I will set pan tag of class avatar of 4. Inside this pan tag, I will use some different icons. First icon as I solid of FA user. I have added the icons group with 4 different icons. Final one as progress with the TD. I will add one more div with tab progress. This will help us to add the progress line here. With the h5 of the element, I will set the 100% as complete, and one more div with progress. Inside this, we'll set div with progress bar. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the icons with to do and then hours and then priority as track with that members and then progress as 100%. Here I will set the inline style with width of 100%. Now I need to add the styles to this. I will jump to the style.css. First we'll set the styles to this quote header with the help of quote header of table responsive, adding inner spacing of 1.25 rem, and we'll set the table responsive margin bottom to 2 rem. Now we need to set the styles to this table with the help of element selector of table. We'll set width of 100%, border color to gray color, border collapse to collapse. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the table width to 100%. Now I need to set all the elements inside this with a padding of 1 rem. So with table greater than of not caption, we'll set this greater than with star with greater than with star. This will get all the parents of th and then t body and then tr and td, all the values with adding 1 rem. of inner spacing. If I save, now we can see the padding is set to all the table elements. Now I need to add the styles to the table header with the table t8 of th. We'll set the padding inner spacing top and bottom to 10 px, right and left to 1 rem. Font weight to 500, font size to 16 px, color of light black color. We'll set the text align to start. We'll set the background color to light white color. If I save, now if I go to the browser, here we can see the active project and then table header with light gray color. Here I have added all the projects inside the body, same as text. So next to this, I need to add the table footer too with tfoot. Inside this, I will add tr and then th. We'll set the th value of view all projects. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the view all projects, but it's not set to the center. So we can set this to center with the help of call span to 5, because here we are having the 5 columns. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the view all project. It's set to center because of this call span. Now we need to style this. Again, I will jump to the style.css. I will set the styles to this footer. Default of th. Will set font weight to 400. Text align to be center. Background color to transparent. Color of black. So here this text align is not required, so I will cut this. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the view all project is set to center with different font size. Now I need to set this project name and icons into a single liner. I will use that table. For this project name, we have added this as tab project name. I will use this as a class selector. We'll set the same of display flags, align items to be center. We'll set the gap of 15 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the project name and icon is set to a same line. Here I have added the icons. If you want, you can add the project image also. These are all the projects I have already created and uploaded into my YouTube channel. If you have interested, please do check it out. I need to add the styles to this icon. Table dot tab project name icon of I will set the font size to 22 px, height of 55 px, width of 55 px, line height to 55 px, text align to center. We'll set the background to same light blue color. We'll set the color of white, border radius to 10 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the icons with background color. So instead of this blue color, I will set to a different one. Now if I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the blue color and then icon is visible properly. Next thing, I need to add the styles to this priority of batch, because this hour is nothing and just a number. For this, we have used this as a badge. So I will go here and I will add the styles to this table of dot badge. Will set the padding inner spacing top and bottom to 1 px, right and left to 5 px, font size to 12 px, font weight to 700. Will set the color of white, border radius to 5 px. If I save, if I go to the browser here, we can't see this because the color is set to white. So as per this batch, we need to add some background color. So here we have used this bg info, and for this bg danger, like this. So we need to add the different colors based on the class. Here we have a 4 different batches. One is bg success with green color, bg info with blue color, bg warning with orange color, bg danger with red color. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. I will set the font size instead of font style. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the priority task as same as batch. So the next thing, I need to add styles to this members. For this members, it present inside this avatar group. We'll set this avatar group into a single line with help of display flags, align items to be center. Now I need to set the styles to this each avatar. Table of avatar of class selector. I will set the position to relative. Will set the width of 30 px. Transition to 0.2 second. If I save, now we can see the width of 30 px to each icon. Now we need to add the styles to that icon as same as avatar and element selector of I. I will set the font size to 20 px, width of 45 px, height of 45 px, line height to 45 px, text align to center, background color with light blue color, border radius to 50 percentage. This will help to set as circle, cursor to pointer. Will set the border 1px solid of white color. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the member groups one after another. Once we over, we need to set this avatar as pop over. As same as this, I can reuse this style of this over. I will set the comma and table of avatar of over. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I go on over, now we can see the avatar is over and set the images popped. So right now I have set this as icon. If you want, you can add this as an image. The same style will work for these images also. So if it is in background, if you go on over, the Z index will pop and it will set on top of this. The next thing I need to add the value of progress. For this progress, I will add the styles with table progress will set width of 100 percentage, background color to light gray color, will set the height of 8px, border radius to 5px. If I save, now we can see the progress barrier. So based on this percentage, we need to set the progress status here. Before that, we need to set this into a same line. So I will reuse some class of this project name and then table of dot tab progress. If I save, now it helps us to set percentage value and then bar into the same line. Now we need to add the styles to this progress value. For that here we have this as a progress bar. We can simply set the progress bar color of background with that blue color of primary color and will set the height of 8px, border radius to 5px. If I save, now we can see the progress bar here. You have confused, right? How this is automatically taken with 15 percentage and 85 percentage and this is occupied by 100%. That is very simple. Here in the index.html, so only I have added this inline width of 85 percentage and 15 percentage. If instead of 15 percentage, I will set to 105. If I save, now it set occupied entire 100. So I will revert to 15. If I save, now we'll get this. Now we have completed this active projects with project names and our priority with members and progress. Below to this, we need to add two more rows for task performance and team members. For this same, I will add one more row with task table task responsive. Inside this, I will add the code of task performance. Inside this code, I will use same code header as task performance and below to this I will add the row as same as above. Inside the row, I will use the code body into 3 times. Inside the code body, I will add the icons with class of FA regular of FA circle check. I will add the H2 to set value for this analytics and next to this I will add the P element of completed. I will copy this 3 line and I will paste it next two chords below. Second icon as FA solid, FA arrow trend up and then last one as same as FA arrow trend down. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the task performance with 3 icons. Next to this code, I will add one more code with code header of theme. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the task performance and themes. We need to add the styles to this. For this table task performance also, I need to add the margin bottoms. So I will reuse this class of margin bottom, same as table responsive. If I save, we'll get the spacing between this. And for this task performance, I no need entire full space. I need to set this as 50. So with the help of task performance, we'll set the width of 50 percentage important. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. Why I've set this as important? This row already set to 100%. So instead of that, I need to set this as 50%. Instead of this table responsive, I will set only for this task performance. So now the task performance is 50 percentage in this 100 and teams has occupied other balance percent. Now I will set the task performance of cart body. Will set all the text aligned to be center. If I save, now we can see this. Now I will set the styles to this quadrator. We have used the same for above. Here instead of this, I need to set this quadrator style for all the chords. So I will remove this and I will change these things to chord. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the task performance as set to the padding. The next thing I need to set the styles to these icons with same task performance of task body of I will set the font size to 24 px, margin bottom to 15 px. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. Now I will set some colors to this icon. So I will jump to here in HTML. I will set some inline style. For the completed, I will set for the info. Second one as trending up, I will set for green color. For the trending down, I will set for red color. If I save, if I go to the browser here, we can see the icons with color of this task performance. The next thing I need to add the teams details here. So for that, I will jump to the index.html. Below to the teams, this is easy for that because we have already added the styles to this table. So I will copy and paste my table already. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the teams with person name and then email address, role of them, and then lost activity with view full team. Just as same active project I have used and I removed some columns and it is automatically taken the styles. Next to this, I need to add the footer. I will close the container and I will set the div of footer. Inside the div, I will add the row of div for two times. One is for made by Sharath. Another one is distributed by Sharachandar K. I will add this inside the p tag. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see this. Now we need to add the styles to this. So I will reuse the style. So here we have already added the display flags. So I will use the footer as well as row here. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the footer is divided into two places with the help of space between. Now we'll set the styles to the footer, padding, inner spacing, top and bottom to be 1 rem, right and left to 2 rem. We'll set the border top 1 px solid with gray color. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I scroll down, now we can see the footer. It is set to this space between and we can see this as a border of top. Now the pending thing is once we click on this, the sidebar should be collapsed and should be reopen this. So for that, I need to jump to the script.js. So here in the script.js, we are going to declare the declaration with the help of const. Here I have already declared some declaration with the help of const with query selector of wrapper with class selector. This is what the sidebar toggle of bars that contains this sidebar new items. This contains this one. So now once we click this sidebar toggle, we need to collapse this menu and we need to reopen. So for that we need to add the click event of sidebar toggle of dot add event listener of click. Will set the function to this. So for example, I will set the alert to check if it is firing or not. So I will go to the browser. If I click on this, we'll get the pop-up alert. If I click, we'll get that. So once we click this, we need to close that. So for that, we need to add the styles to this with that wrapper dot class list dot add of toggled. So if I save, if I go to the browser, if I click, nothing is happened. I need to insert element. If I go to this sidebar of wrapper, so here in the top wrapper, here we have already added the toggle. So instead of add, I will set to toggle. This will help to add and remove automatically. If I click, it will added here. If I click again, it will be removed here. So once this toggle class is added, we need to add the styles to this. I will copy this toggle. I will go to the top on this here of this wrapper class. Next to the wrapper class, I need to set this dot wrapper dot toggle of margin left to -16 rem, and will set the transition of smooth of all 0.5 second. If I save, if I go to the browser, see now it is automatically toggled because the class is already added here. If I click it here, we'll get that side new. If I click it again, we'll hide the side new. How cool is this, right? So the next thing, once we click this active class, white should be added here. So for that same, we need to use this all the nav items of sidebar nav dot for each of element. This will get all the nav items. I will show you console dot log of element. If I save, if I go to the browser inside the console, if I refresh, here we are not getting. Sorry, here this is neighbor items. If I save, now if I go to the browser, here we can see all the icons presented here. Why I get these icons? Because here all the nav items contains with some headers also. This will not going to click, or this will not going to end up with adding the class. So I will find the icons and all the icons presented here inside the for each. So how we can set the class to here. So once we click this, we need to add the active class like this. If I set this active here, now we can see the color of white. For this, we'll set the element dot add event listener of click what we have already added above. We'll use the same. Inside this, we'll use the e dot. We'll check what is this e contains. Console dot log of e. If I save, if I go to the browser, in the console, here we have listed all the for each. If I click on this, not working because we need to click on this icon. See, if I click on this icon, then only it is firing. If I click on this nav item, we are not getting the function. So for that, we need to click this add event listener to the parent element dot parent element. If I save, if I go and clear this, if I click on dashboard, now we'll get the console.log of that target item. How simple is this, right? So we are getting this as an icon and we are adding this into this parent element. So now we need to set the styles to that parent element only. E dot parent element dot class list dot add to active. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click, now it is not adding because the class list of getting error already we are getting this parent element. So we need to set to target here. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I click, now this is adding the active class here. Here you can see if I click on the project, here the active is added. Now it is adding active all the nav items. Once we select this, other things should be removed, right? So that is very simple as we already having that sidebar nav dot for each and el will remove el dot parent element dot class list dot remove of all the active class. This will get all the for each. So I will cut this and to place this inside the click. Whenever we click this should get all the sidebar nav items and it should remove the active class from here and then this should set to active. So we'll test it. So I will jump to the browser. If I click on dashboard, now it's set to active. If I click on here, it is removed from the dashboard. It is added in the project. If I click on profile, it is removed from here and it is set to profile. And if I close, if I click on open, we'll get that. If I change to tablet view, the entire thing is collapsed. We need to add the styles to this. For that, I will jump to the style.css. Here in the style.css, we need to set the styles to the tablet view. For that, I will add the media only screen with min width of 481 px and max width to 768 px, because here this tablet view contains 768 px. So the same thing I will use for mobile query also, with media only screen with max width of 480. Inside this, I need to add the styles. For now, here this table content is set to row. We need to switch to column wise. So for this dashboard content, here we have set this display as flags. It's set to row. Instead of row, I will set the flux direction to column. What will happen? It's set to in a list view. So I need to add this. Whenever this is present, I will use this dashboard codes of flux direction to be column. And if I scroll for this table also, we need to set to column, right? So I will copy this table task responsive. I will copy that and I will add the same with the comma of this table task responsive also. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see that column is automatically set to column here because of that media query. If I go and navigate this dashboard cards, here we can see these are the common styles we have set for the style.css. Along with that, here it is displayed media query of width 481 and 786. If I remove, it will be aligned to the row. If I check, it will be set to column. I will jump to the style.css. Here for the table, I will set the display block overflow x to auto white space to be no wrap. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the scroll of this table. Still, this task performance is having some issue. So I will set this task performance as I said to 100 percentage of width important. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the tablet view with cards and then table with scroll and then task performance with 100 percentage and then teams as scroll with the columns and then footer with two rows. If I click on this, it will close and we can see the visibility here. If I click on open again, we'll get the styles without breaking the elements here. The next thing I need to add for mobile. If I go to the mobile, the entire thing is collapsed. So we need to add the styles to the mobile also. For that, I need to use this dashboard and then table content as column. I will copy and paste here. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see this and then table is collapsed and then performance also collapsed. So for the same, I will use this above content to the below mobile also. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the table with scroll and task performance as 100 percentage and then themes also fully visible. But on the top, this search is also present. Once in the mobile view, we no need to use this search box. So we need to hide that. We can simply hide that form control set to display none. If I save, if I go to the browser here, now we can't see that search box. If I click, it will be fit automatically to here. If I open, if I refresh, still it is open, right? Once it is a mobile, this should automatically set to hide. So for that, we'll set sidebar margin left to 16 rem. If I save, if I go to the browser, now we can see the sidebar is went to rem. And other things we need to change like dot dashboard content margin left to 0. If I save, now it's set to here. If I click, it is going outside. So for that, we need to set the styles to the wrapper dot toggled. If this is added, I need to set the margin left to 16 rem. I save, if I go to the browser, if I refresh, now this is a mobile view, it should automatically hidden. And if I click on side navigation bar, it is open. If I click again, it will close. Once the side navigation bar is open, this icon is collapsed. So I need to set to display none for this icon dot wrapper dot toggled of dashboard content of cards dot cart body of cart content of I will set display none. Instead of this, I will reuse this. I will cut this and I will remove this display none from here and I will reuse this with here. If I save, if I go to the browser, if I refresh, now we can able to see the icons. If I scroll, we can see the tables. If I click here, now the icon is gone. We can see the projects with completion. And if I navigate to the tablet view, now we can able to see the response view. If I click, if I go to the mobile device, the sidebar is closed. If I go to the laptop view, here it is visible. Now I will add the styles to the side scroll bar to. For this, I will add the WebKit scroll bar to 8px and then background color to light white color and then scroll bar thumb to black color. If I save, if I go to the browser, here we can see the scroll bar thumb is changed to this customized. If I move to this tablet view, here you can see the scroll bar thumb to this table also as uniform. And in the laptop view, you can over and it will be having the animation. If I click, we'll get that animation, and if I click again, it will open. Finally, we have completed this responsive dashboard using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. I hope this video will be helpful for you. Please like and share this video and also subscribe to my channel Sharat Chandar K to watch more like this one. If you are interested in JavaScript projects like this, I have created and added a playlist link in the description. Please do check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep coding and keep learning. See you in the next video. Happy coding. Bye for now. Have a nice day.